Absolutely magic. I always wonder about people who code.
Yeah, there's some smart folks out there. So Brett Reed has been gone for some time. He has been moving. So before we dive into today's training, Brett, share with us, what have you been up to? Where have you been?
Well, I just got back from Colombia. That was the most recent event. So it's good to be back. Good to see everybody's faces. Then before that, the week prior, I was moving. And at the same time, trying to get a property ready to sell and not taking my own advice and hiring it all out, thinking I could do some things, some painting, a couple other things, and just bit off way more than I can chew. I thought I was invincible until the past couple weeks, and I realized I have a limit. So, and I reached it. So, very appreciative of Gualter to support me in my time away, and very glad to be back. The house will be on the market next week, so should be in a good groove after that gets sold. And we'll use that cash to pay everybody to do things that I thought I could do myself.
Well done. Let's give Brett Reed a round of applause. Clever idea.
Congratulations. And we're glad to have you back, Brett.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be back.
That is the truth. And we're going to start promoting the shit out of this event so that more people can get in with the right links. I'm going to talk to Dorina and let her know that there was a link issue this week. So for the two people who are on the call, you get something very, very special. I'm going to start recording.
Candy.
Welcome back to Buy Real Estate's Cash Flow and Get Rich. This is a training that is normally run by the great Brett Reed at Element Real Estate Group. Brett is a broker, an investor, and a generally smart guy. So he talks about how to buy real estate so you can cash flow and get rich. This week, he and I agree, we're going to talk about goals, but we're going to do something very different, very unique. And since we only have a handful of people on the call today, we've chosen Jennifer and Josh to give us your goals, and we're going to work back so you can reach them. So we're going to start with ladies first. Jen, I'm going to take your goals, work through a process, and then Brett is going to take care of Josh Allen and just kind of decide a good strategy to hit your goals. Hands to the camera if that sounds like fun. Yo, it's more than fun. Jen, what is your goal for the next 12 months? Oh, you are muted. Off to a great start.
Right? Bing, right out of the gate. I'll be in a multifamily that is cash flowing well. And actually, maybe I'll have two. I'll be caught up in my debt, like paid off, and I'll be acting again.
Excellent.
And everything will be hired out with Jen's pen.
Excellent. And so with any goal setting, we got to know where you stand right now. What is holding you back from hitting those goals?
Right now, as you know, we're starting our business. I'm starting a business, and I am working on getting the systems in place to scale. And then we will be going harder after new clients.
Excellent. So increasing income. You're in the increased income phase. You're looking to get your first multifamily. It sounds like first multifamily owner occupied so that you can live rent free. What are you currently paying for rent, or have you figured out how to live rent free already?
No, I'm renting a room in a house. I'm paying $675 a month.
Excellent. So as long as we can get that $675, you're covered. As long as the next place is rent free, you're actually saving $675 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yes.
If the building does more than rent free and it's cash flowing a little bit on top of you living rent free, that's glorious.
Yes.
Awesome. So you're renting a bedroom from friends, family, or was this something you found online?
This was something I found online.
Excellent. How many bedrooms in that unit?
5.
Excellent. So let's say you buy this next property and it's a multifamily. Let's start with a 3-family. It's a 3-family and they're all 3-bedroom units, or maybe they're 2 bedrooms, but your unit is a 3. Mm-hmm. If you house hack that unit and you're getting $675 for each one of those 2 bedrooms, by the way, this is for everybody who's listening. Do exactly what you're doing right now. Like live the way you're living right now in your first investment property. So if you're house hacking, which is essentially renting a room, turn the tables, go buy a multifamily and house hack it. So rent out the top 2 floors, but then for your unit, rent out those other 2 bedrooms. And now cash flow, you're living rent free for your room, but you're cash flowing an extra $1,200 a month. This is how you get the most out of it. Now, a lot of people make the mistake of they're living in an apartment and then they go buy a single family house. That is going ass backwards in the investment arena. If you're living in an apartment, go buy a condo. And if you're living in a bedroom, you could go buy a condo and house hack the condo.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the first easiest step because they're much more affordable, lower barrier to entry, but multifamilies are about the same. Like the amount of effort to get into it is about the same as buying a condo.
With a condo, because I know that when I go for the multifamily, I'm going to have to go with like creative funding strategies. I'm going to have to like do some hard money. Maybe I can get a seller.
And that's because your business is brand new, right? You have you can't go for the traditional financing route. So
right. Exactly.
Seller financing or subject to existing mortgage would be one of the avenues to follow.
Is that something that's easy to do on just a condo, or?
Condos are tougher. That's why you go multifamily.
That's why I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
No, the condo advice goes for most people. Most people living in an apartment should buy a condo instead of buying a single family. They just don't know any better, and they go for the single, and they really should be renting that single out, but they don't. So you're in a great strategy to cash flow.
Yeah.
And as long as that multifamily, you're renting out the bedrooms, you're not only going to be living rent free, you're actually going to make money every month from the building itself. And that building's something that you could do relatively soon. You could do it. My suggestion is discount season, November, December, January. This is when the market starts faltering. We also see a lot of things coming together to bring the market down. So COVID for one, interest rates for another. I watched an interesting video today where the correlation is 1%. If the interest rate goes down or up 1%, it shifts the market about 10%. Real estate's adjustable by the interest rate. So if they go up 1%, we're talking a 10% drop in real estate, which is exciting for buyers.
Do you think that'll be true in Boston, or is Boston just like the special market into itself?
That's nationwide. So when interest, so that's why it's percentages. Boston will have the same percentages as the rest of the nation.
Okay.
It's exciting.
It is. I'm looking forward.
It's an average. Yeah, maybe Boston will be 9%, maybe it'll be 11%. We don't know how these changes are going to affect the larger and the smaller markets. Right.
Well, I have on my vision board and in my head, I'm getting a place in JP.
There you go.
So, so I'm going to be putting together my down payment in the next few months. I was thinking 15,000, that would be easy enough, but I should probably, if I'm going to be trying to get something in Boston, probably have a bit more than that, right?
Why not?
Okay.
If it's seller financing, there's no money down.
Right.
If it's subject to the existing mortgage, it's no money down. Like there's a lot of different strategies to do it without cash out of pocket.
Can you explain a little bit more about subject to existing mortgage? I mean, I know, I'm pretty sure I know what it means after.
Yeah, so the subject to is essentially taking over their mortgage.
Taking over the mortgage, okay.
Yeah, you get their social security number, you get their, this usually works for older people who don't really care if you paid or didn't pay. They just want to not be in the house and not like have that on their credit. So they're hoping you'll make the payments for them.
Okay.
Some people, it's not necessary that they be older. It's just been older people that seem to be really, they don't care. They're just like, yeah, whatever. So great strategy. And Brett fell off the call. So it looked like he had bad service where he was at. Jen, was that helpful for goal setting?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it definitely kind of firmed things up for me.
Give us some time to come up with a down payment. Lines it up. You know where you want to be. You want to be in Jamaica Plain. That helps. And the 3-family is really what you want to be taken down. Mm-hmm. The other element is you may want to partner on this. If you have to go the traditional route, get somebody with good credit. Get somebody who's been in their job for a long time. Have them be a co-signer. And that may be another avenue so you can get into the property with that 15,000, like a 3% down deal.
Okay. All right. But wouldn't they have to then live, if it's a 3% down, like FHA, wouldn't they have to live in the place?
You'll check with a lender, but from the way the rules used to be, as long as you got a co-signer, they didn't have to live in the property.
Okay.
They just co-sign the loan.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and I mean, like I've mentioned to you before, there are a bunch of like multifamilies that are so falling down around here that there's got to be something that I'm going to be able to get in
Yeah.
November. I mean, so I'm aiming for November then to start looking.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as your finances are lined up before then, November should be a really good month to start looking. November, December, January, that's when most houses go on discount. So
Okay.
the stuff you're seeing on the market not get absorbed now will likely get absorbed in those discount season.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Let's give Jen Sullivan a round of applause. Josh Allen, I know you're going to have a fun one. What is your goal?
All right. So my wife and I just got into our first investment property. Yeah, thanks. This last month actually. And so we are actively working to get renters in place. Once we have at least 3 of the rooms rented out of this house, we'll be living rent free, which is going to save us at least $2,000 a month, which is what our previous bills were. We were paying like 1,500 or 1,600 bucks a month rent plus like utilities and everything. And so we figured like 3 renters, we should be able to cover mortgage and majority of the bills. Once we get a 4th renter, and then if our goal for this next year is to move out, leave a head of household in place for the house hack here, get another rental property, whether it be if prices fall dramatically, we'll be prepared to either get a multifamily or potentially another house hack. Like I've been open to multifamily before. I should have been a little bit more open to it. Like the duplexes around here at the price range, like they cash flow relatively well. They're just like for us having to live in it for the first year, it was kind of like an uncomfortability that I was not initially willing to tolerate. But in the very near future, like we will be more willing to tolerate it, just because the duplexes tend to be not in the nicest of neighborhoods around here. But yeah, so that's our goal, is within the next 12 months to get another rental property.
Awesome. So Brett Reed, how much of that did you catch?
It got booted right away.
Yeah. So Josh just bought a single family in California, and he's going to house hack it. How many rooms do you have rented out right now, Josh?
We don't have any, but we just got in last week. I know that's no excuse, but we're trying to settle and like get things like organized before we like start. But it's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house, 2,200 square foot. So we should be able to at least rent 3. And then we're going to work towards the 4th room is like, it used to be an office. So it might be the more difficult of the 3 to rent.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is
And
that a
you're
house
not
hack?
willing
Are you
to
going to be
take
living
that.
there?
Go ahead.
Is that a
So-
house hack? You're going to live there?
Yeah, so we put 5% down. So we got to live here for the first year.
Beautiful.
Yep.
So your goal is to buy another one.
Yeah, goal is to buy another one. So we're saving at least $2,000 a month on rent and utilities, because that's what our bills used to be. As soon as we get bills and mortgage covered here, then we should be good. Without renting the 4th and 5th bedrooms, like without us moving out, we're going to be cutting it close. Like we should have bills covered, but we probably won't be cash flowing until we get at least the 4th room rented out. And then our goal is to then get another rental, whether it's house hack or multifamily, within the next 12 months.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't always expect to cash flow in the first one. For me, I didn't cash flow until my second house hack. The first one just paid for itself. To actually cash flow on the first house hack, you usually need a 3-family at least. So that's perfect. Once you get that next one, whether it's a single or a multi, that's when you'll be able to get the cash flow going.
Nice. Yeah, and I think unfortunately, I've been trying to avoid it, but I think I'm gonna have to go back and get another W-2 job for the next little while, just to keep that cash flow coming in and to have our debt to income ratio low enough to where we can get a loan on the next one. And so I think I'm gonna have to go back and I've been trying to avoid it. I've been sailing and stuff, but I think I'm gonna have to go get my W-2 back, and that way our debt to income's good enough to get a loan for the next one.
So
yeah, that's go ahead, Brett.
I I was just gonna say, can we unpack that? I probably missed it, but you were sailing.
Oh yeah. So I was working. My background, I'm a mechanical engineer, and I was working for a company that recently closed in May. And so I've been enjoying my time off, and part of my mission here was to figure out whether or not I had to go back to work. And so I think it will probably be for the best if I get a W-2 again for a little while, just till we can build this up to where I got enough passive cash flow coming in. Like rent and bills being covered is great, but then we got to stack it a little bit so we can like get in on the next ones.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. That's great. What were you gonna say, Gualter?
No, I give that advice to a lot of people is don't lose the W-2. Like if you don't have a sustainable business that's out there pumping in cash, it's time to go back to work and stay in the W-2 until you've built that side hustle, whether it's through real estate or a side business or some other asset that you have that's bringing in money, if it's the lending. But you've got to maintain that active income until you can build up the passive income. So nobody likes hearing it. I didn't like hearing it, but I had to go and build businesses before I could get back into buying real estate. Or you end up in the really creative arena and you're buying multifamilies. The multifamilies and the flips, you don't have to have cash to go and do those. There's definitely hard money and other options to buy those properties, seller financing, subject to, like, that's why I was so great at creative financing. I didn't have the option. And one of the reasons I took a whole year off during a great buying season was I had quit my job and I didn't have the creative financing tools in place yet. So my suggestion to everybody is always stay in the W-2, keep working your job, keep bringing that income in, makes buying your first couple properties a whole lot easier. Don't just quit with no plan. Don't do what I did. So Josh, it's tough advice to take, and you already know it yourself, but do it, make the money. And while you're doing that, work your side hustle, like be building up that side business so that you can have the option to quit that job at some point in the future, ideally soon. Yeah. Here's the deal. You could build a business that replaces your income in a year. We watched Grant Cardone do it. We watched Glenn Stearns and some of the other people that did the Undercover Billionaire. In 3 months, they built themselves $1 million businesses, had cash flow from, within the first 30 days or the first 60 days. So you can build them, but it takes having a lot of business knowledge and awareness before going and doing it. They took billionaires and they threw them at this. And to them, the hardest part they struggled with the first 30 days was paying their bills and making sure that they had a place to live. Like that was where most of the work was. So for you, Josh, I would say you could build $1 million business in a year, right? If they could do it in 90 days, you could do it in a year. But even easier would be to build a $250,000 business in a year, right?
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have that individual experience creating it all. Like I've been reading and learning and trying to do everything I can. I think a good question that I had was like, should I get my real estate agent license? I've been on the fence about it, and like I know that like in one purchase it could potentially pay for itself like in a big way, but I'm not sure.
So it's a good question. And me and Brett both carry our licenses, but me and Brett are both salespeople. Sales is, I had to learn sales to make money off my license. And Brett came into this as a really talented salesperson to begin with. And he learned a lot over the last few years being a licensed agent. Josh, what's your experience currently in sales?
Pretty minimal. I mean, like I've been like a technical analysis, like, I sit behind a computer and like crunch numbers. I do have some charisma, I could approach, I can approach an individual and like offer, like spark a conversation, like probably very minimal, like closing sales,
Do you have, what type of network do you have? Do you have like 100 people that you could call that live locally, that you'd say, hey, this is my new business. I just want to let you know, What do you got going on? Do you have a move coming up that I can help you with? Do you have something like that? If not, there's another option, but do you have something similar to that?
No, probably not. So like I didn't grow up in this city. And so yeah, my friend list out here is a little minimal. Yeah. Uh but
So
I could advertise or like do like creative marketing and stuff.
in lieu of having a big network, because a very good book for real estate agents is Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller, and he puts people into two general groups. It's the met and the haven't met, and you need to be able to access both to build a big and successful real estate business, real estate sales business. So if you don't have the met group, you need to get the people that are in the not met or haven't met into the met group. And a way that you can test the waters before you commit to getting your license, you can do the wholesale activities. So on Mondays, join the wholesale mastermind if you don't already, and learn how to cold call. And if you can cold call and you find that you're having some success, then I would say that's a point where you say, okay, maybe I can go out and I can get my real estate license because I'm proving, or I'm getting the experience, and I'm actually having success with these type of activities. Because a wholesaler and a real estate agent, when it comes to finding properties for people that aren't in your network, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, a wholesaler, especially, I know a group in my area, they're basically real estate agents without licenses. They do the same stuff. They get sellers on the phone, motivated sellers, right? And then they actually have open houses, which is a little bit different than a traditional wholesaler. That's what they do. So if you can do those things, just find out what you need a license for and what you can do without a license, do everything you can without a license. And like I said, you're just testing the waters. If you do have that initial success, a little spark, get a couple deals wholesaled to the investors in your area or something that you buy yourself, and you say, oh, well, I can do this. I can take people that I don't know and turn them into deals. Then you say, okay, I'm going to go get my license. I'm going to scale this up from there. That's what I would, consider if you are okay with cold calling or door knocking, something similar to that.
I would do it before you even got your license.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just like Brett's saying, I would do it before you got your license just to be certain that this is something you want to do. Spend a month and see if you can send business to an agent who does close. And if the agent closes and they're doing well, okay, maybe get your license. But if after a month goes by, they haven't put anything under agreement, it's really sales. For me, I could switch into any sales career and I have a big enough network where I could sell something on day one. Whereas starting fresh, it's a 6-month year process before you can build up that network. So what your skills are currently, what does your company sell?
It was telecommunication, like big business. Well, so what I'm most interested in, like what I'm capable of selling is like engineering solutions. So like mechanical, electrical design, potentially business design, but I don't have any, or not business design, but like HVAC sort of systems, like where you're looking at like pumps and heating and cooling and things of that nature. I don't have any experience in that, but I'm trained in all the analysis. So yeah, like I feel like I'm trying to explore, or I am exploring moving out on my own, as far as like, instead of being a contractor for a company, like selling myself beyond the doors of someone that owns a big business,
Yeah, absolutely, man. That would be some homework for you, Josh. I think that the goal to buy real estate is a great goal. I think you're on track to do it. And getting back to the W-2 while you build this, while you discover yourself, may be an option. You go in there and you learn what they're doing and then just replicate it in your own unique way. And that's an option for a lot of people. I did that with Johnson & Johnson. I did it with Walmart. Those companies I worked at, I then took their systems and implemented. in my own businesses. So look at them through the eyes of an entrepreneur this time when you're working there and say, how do I duplicate what they've already got going? How do I replicate this? And it's funny because we're talking about business right now on a real estate training, because business allows you to have money to use as down payments. And business is one of those things that the bank requires in order to borrow, to lend money to you. So it's really important to have a stream of income, whether it's active, passive, or self-employed or working for somebody else. Having some stream of income is a really big part of real estate. When you don't have it, you've got to get really creative. And actually, Brett Reed did, Jen put it in the chat, Brett did a really good creative financing training a few weeks back, which you can go on YouTube to catch. And we'll probably start adding it to Alchemist University at some point. We'll add all of these trainings in there.
It was a really good one, just before Christmas.
Right before Christmas. So it was a few months back.
Yeah.
Damn, Brett. You create great content that people remember.
Been looking for it. I'm like, where is it?
Oh yeah. It was right before Lead Gen January, I think.
Yes.
Lead Gen January, which is coming back up again. So Brett, what can we expect next week? Do you have a topic that you want to talk about?
I was thinking Lead Gen July. No. No, I had goal setting on my list. So that was definitely up there. I'm trying to find, similar to like building with concrete, the Jeopardy game that we played, something a little fun to mix it up. But I think the overall theme will be, we're in the second half of the year now. So we got to, same thing with our goals and all of our strategies. We have to hit the reset button and do sort of an audit on everything that we're doing, making sure it aligns with our goals. Goals are a moving target. So, reset the goals, make sure our internally everything's changing because we're reaching goals. So now we got to come up with new goals. So it's like, for me, the beginning of July is like between Christmas and New Year, thinking about what I want to do for this half of the year. You can break it up into quarters, but that'll be the theme, is hitting that reset button and figuring out what the new target is so that we can crush it through the end of the year and then do the same thing all over again as the new year approaches.
I like it.
It goes by fast, doesn't it? It just goes by so fast, especially when
it goes by quick. We'll call it recalibration January.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to recalibrate. So you can get more access to these trainings. Go to gualteramarelo.com/events. If you found that the link wasn't working this week, the link is working on the website. So go to the main website, gualteramarelo.com/events, and get access to Brett Reed's training every single week to buy real estate and cash flow to get rich. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best. And Brett, what is your phrase?
Damn, it's been too long. Join us again next week, Wednesday, 6 o'clock, because the only difference between broke people and rich people is how they spend their time.
I love it. Let's give Brett a round of applause. He's back. Later, guys.
I'm back, baby.